There is something simply wonderful about a field of flowers in Minecraft. It's bright, it's vibrant, it looks like it would be a lot of fun just to run through. The perfect place for a good frolic, if you ask me. The thing is, I've already done this project before here in my world, but one, it's too far away from my base so I never get to see it, and two, it's just not big enough. I want to make something to rival the size of my crop fields here, or better yet, make it into an extension of itself by building it just next door. The thing is though, currently there's a lot of trees in the way, but this general area is what I want to turn into this, but just more colourful. So after taking out essentially an entire forest and cleaning up the terrain a little bit so it's nice and smooth, the land is now flower farm ready. I'm thinking we just take the farm up to this point over here, because once we get to this cliff edge, the terrain just goes a little bit haywire. And I should be able to make a nice cutoff point kind of going up the hillside here. But I mean, all of that, plenty of room to plant these flowers in. I'm realizing now when I chop down these trees, I really should have used my hoe to actually get some of the leaves, because I'm going to need them for the next step. And it is a very important step. We're deciding on the layout of the entire farm, using the leaves to figure out where the hedges are going to go and the cobblestone to decide on the pathways. Now of course this is not the final look of either the pathway or the hedge, we're going to add a bit more volume to both. But it's just to get a rough idea of where I want each flower field to go and the pathways to connect them all. And in the end, we've got a pretty good idea of the overall shape. This is a pretty good size, roughly the same as the crop fields over here, maybe ever so slightly smaller, but that's okay. But we've got 6 fields for 6 different flower types and a suspicious looking circle right in the center where all the paths converge. This is going to be where we put the Flower Farmer's Farmhouse. I know, I've done the unthinkable. A house without a single block of spruce. At least on the exterior. Can't say the same for the inside. So let me give you a very quick tour. Down here in this room we have the general farming equipment area. Upstairs is the living quarters fit with a small kitchen, table and chairs, and a little bedroom up here. And then back downstairs and through this room is where we're going to be getting all of our flowers today. Let's just turn some of this into bone meal. We can pop it into dispensers. Then very simply, I just pop down the flower we want some more of, step on the pressure plate, the observers come up and start duplicating them at a rate of knots. I mean, just look how many I'm getting at that speed. The great thing about this as well is that I can actually use it for the wildflowers as well as the pink petals, so I'm thinking maybe we do one of the fields out of these two. It's going to take a while to plant them all because every single block requires 4 flowers, not just one, but I think it might actually look really nice. Around the back of the farmhouse we do have some beehives over here, but they are currently completely empty. No one's inside at the moment. But I do have 4 full up beehives that I've got from the bee village that we built a couple episodes back. So I'm thinking just for now, it's not going to be a permanent thing because I'm not really a big fan of bone mealing like this. It's a bit much, but so we get some actual flowers around, we can make a little patch for them here and move some buzzy friends in. So let's just get rid of these empty 4 and replace them with 12 bees. There they are. I don't know why they're not all coming out. That's usually what they do. I promise there's more than 2 in there. So as I mentioned, the walls aren't going to be staying the same as they are at the moment. We're going to be raising them up a little bit by adding in some slabs, stairs and walls just to kind of flush it out, and then mixing in a little bit of mossy cobble just for something else that's not grey. We'll do the same with the hedges, except they're a little bit simpler. There's no slab or stair variants for leaves, so it's just making them a little bit taller really. And then in between the cobblestone walls, where we have our pathway, we'll make it into, well, an actual pathway as opposed to just grass. I'm thinking for now, so we can get a taste of what these fields are going to look like when we're all done, I'm going to go ahead and plant one of the flowers in this field, because as you can see, the hedge is fully finished going all the way around. The only question is, which flower are we going to choose? Well, we've actually got a choice of 6 different flowers. We can either do the little ones or the big ones. And I think to begin with, I want to try one of the big ones. So let's go for the peony. I've done a very, very rough estimate, and I think I need about 2,500, but I'll probably get a little bit more just in case. Turns out I needed quite a few more flowers than what I was originally planning for, but I don't mind because it looks really pretty. And honestly, just makes me even more excited to do the rest of the fields. So now is probably a pretty good time to decide on which flower we want in which field. I think we'll go with wildflowers in this one, rose bushes over here, pink petals can go in this one. We'll do lilacs in the top field, and then last, and probably most importantly, sunflowers. Obviously these have got to be facing the right direction, as they always face east, right? Yeah, I think that's right. Okay, there we go. Yeah, you guys can't see a thing, can you? That's fine. Hopefully this makes it a bit more obvious. We are now officially ready to plant some flowers. The only thing is, I've been placing blocks for quite a while, whether it be cobblestone, leaves, or flowers, so I need just a wee break before doing that all over again. So inside the farmhouse, I noticed there's a bit of an empty spot, right underneath this staircase. Something is definitely missing here. So how about just a planter under here? But not any ordinary planter, no. A planter holding 2 of the rarest flowers in the game, the torch flower and the pitcher plant, which is the one I don't have. So that means we're off on an excursion to visit Truffles. Who is Truffles, you may be asking? This guy. This is Truffles. When Truffles was first introduced to the game, I made him his own island here out in the middle of the ocean, and he loves it. Just trust me, he said so. Okay, bit close, buddy, bit close, please. But I am in the market for one of these, and I could just take this pitcher plant and be on my way, but I don't really want to do that to Truffles, so I'm going to wait for him to dig up a pitcher pod from his island, and I'll take that one home with me. The thing is, he's not really in a rush to do that. So I'm going to sit here and patiently wait. Oh, here he goes. He's digging. What have you got for me? That's a torch flower seed. Yeah, not really what I had in mind, but thank you anyway. Here we go. Attempt number 2. What have we got? More torch flower seeds. Oh, Truffles. 3rd time's the charm, surely. Yes! Oh, Truffles, you are the best. Thank you very much, buddy. Let's stick this one in the ground. Oh, that's very fat. I can't remember them looking like that. Give it a bit of a bone meal, and there we go. We got our pitcher plant. And look at that. It's perfect. Now it was time to grow some flowers. I managed to get to all of the 2 tall ones before entirely running out of bone meal, so I had to spend some time over at my desert pyramid with the mob farm, and I was able to get all of the pink petals before running out of bone meal again. I didn't want to AFK anymore though, so I decided to head to the nether and start gathering fossils. Times had gotten pretty tough, but it didn't actually take too long, and I was able to get enough bone meal for all of the wildflowers. I never want to hear this sound ever again. But oh boy, do we have a lot of flowers. All of these shulker boxes are filled to the brim with a little bit left over just in case I need it. And I mean, look at the wildflowers. We got a pretty big field, and obviously we need 4 of each of these for 1 block. Oh, I'm not looking forward to doing this one. But that really is the final thing left to do. We got the flowers, we got the farmhouse, we got the walls, we got the hedges, we got the fields for them. It's just the planting that remains. Well, ain't that pretty? Well worth the 5 hours of flower placing I've just done. Oh, I think I've got carpal tunnel now. It really wasn't too bad actually. I almost enjoyed doing the rose bushes, the peonies, the lilacs and the sunflowers over there. But these ones, oh, I hated this. The trouble with the wildflowers and the pink petals is if you place them all facing the same direction, you just end up with the same pattern. So I basically went round like this, spinning as I planted the first of the flowers, and then I could go around and flush it out without having to get disorientated as I go. It really wasn't awful, but let's just say this field, that's half the size of this field, it took about 3 times as long to finish. And just a little stat comparison because it's fun to do. On the left is before the flower farm and on the right is after. So in total, today we planted 46,164 flowers. No wonder my wrist is hurting. Anyway, enough complaining, it looks great, I'm glad I've done it, and we also now have a connected pathway from the flower fields to the crop fields, giving us one complete farming area. There is one thing I've got to do before we end off today's episode though. I have got to update my world map in the observatory here, because the farming fields are maybe my favorite part of this entire map. So I am so excited to see what these flower fields look like. It didn't change. I was expecting all sorts of colors, but it's just green, the same as the crops. I was really excited for that. That's actually kind of sad. At least the pathways in the farmhouse looks good. Well, maybe the map didn't live up to expectations, but I would say the flower fields and farmhouse definitely did. I think this is a lovely addition to our world. Thank you guys ever so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.